supply. The law of supply in economics basically says that there is a direct relationship between price and the quantity supplied. So basically, as price goes up, quantity supplied also goes up. Or if price of a good goes down, suppliers will supply less of it. So quantity supplied will go down. See, the arrows are moving in the same direction. So we say there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. So as quantity supplied will go up, as price goes up, other things constant. Do you remember that other things constant? And quantity supplied will go down as prices fall. Again, other things constant. Now the reason the law of supply exists is because of two things. One, when prices go up, a small firm will substitute production to go for one good for another. Or a price of apples go up, an orange grower will supposedly switch over and start growing oranges instead of growing apples. And also, assuming that the firm's costs are not going up with other prices. I mean, if we assume that only the price of the goods going up and their cost is not going up, we can assume that they're going to produce more because they're going to see higher prices for their good equal to higher profit. If their cost doesn't go up, but the price of their goods going up, that means they are making higher profits. Okay, let's draw the supply curve, and just remember before we draw it that the supply curve is just basically a representation of this law of supply that we just discussed, which says as prices go up, quantity supplied also increase. If prices go down, quantity supplied goes down. So because of that, the supply curve is going to be sloping upward and to the right. The slope is telling us that quantity supplied, again, varies directly in the same direction with the price. Okay, here's our sample supply curve. At this price, the quantity A is supplied. But look what happens if the price goes up again. Quantity supplied does what? See that? That level at higher prices, quantity supplied has increased. Prices went up, quantity supplied increased. If price went down, let's say down here, you see that price is lower, thereby quantity supplied is also lower. Here you go. Alright, so here price of $15, we are selling, or suppliers are willing to supply 1,250 units. When the price goes up, let's say I don't have the number here, let's say $20, then the suppliers are willing to increase or have a change in quantity supplied and increase their production to 1,500 units. This movement along the supply curve is caused by a change in price. Now a shift in supply works the other way. Here at $15, they're selling 1,250 units. Or they're willing to supply 1,250 units. Now, if something else changes, that's going to cause a shift the supply curve out. You see, at the same old $15, they're willing to sell 1,500 units. Price did not change, but quantity changed. So we know there was a shift in supply, or a change in supply. Now, what could cause these supply curves to shift? And you'll see. It's the price of the inputs that they use, the cost of their production. So if the price of their inputs go up, it tends to shift in. If the price of their inputs goes down, it tends to shift out. Technology tends to shift the supply curve. Okay, usually technology makes it cheaper for them to produce, and when it's cheaper for them to produce, they tend to produce more at the same old price, so the supply curve shifts out. Suppliers' expectations also shifts the supply curve. Taxes and subsidies on suppliers also tends to shift the supply curve. And then finally, the number of sellers. How many sellers are out there? That affects